These things are destroying your games.
Let's go.
There are certain things that you and I and him, we've all been doing that have been wrecking our old school and current video games.
So in this episode, we're going to look at some of the main things that we've been doing wrong our whole lives that we need to stop now to preserve our games.
You probably didn't realize this, but your old school Game Boy games, most of them, if not all of them, had actual physical battery within the Game Boy cartridge itself.
What?
Really? Well, there you go. If you own any Game Boy games and you've tried to play it recently, you might have realized that some of them have lost their save game files. And this is because most games, if not all of the game cartridges, have a little battery within the physical game cartridge that will actually help you, or actually saves your game to that game.
Really?
Yeah, and obviously batteries don't last forever, which
Really?
means that all these games do technically work and they're not broken, but they just have a battery that's dead in there.
And so the battery's dead and you can still play the game, but you can't save it?
Correct.
So wait, you can't save it anymore?
Well, that's true.
Wow. I did not know that.
So I'll quickly show you here a footage of someone easily replacing the battery. It's actually not that difficult. You need some tools to obviously do it. It's not like a simple unplug and plug back in. But it is possible and it is technically an easy fix.
That's
so
cool.
Your games aren't technically broken.
So you can restore your saved games if you want to go back onto the Game Boy. And you know what? There's another battery issue that is destroying your consoles, is actually leaving the batteries at the back of your Game Boy for too long. You see, before you had lithium batteries, you had the AAA or AA batteries that would be put in the back of the Game Boy. And what happens is we forget that they exist. And we forget and we leave them in there for years, and then what happens is it starts to erode. And that erosion can actually ruin your console, and you don't want that. So, if that's the issue, take them out and clean them off. There's certain products that you're able to use. I think white vinegar, things like that. Just Google it, be on the safe side, and clean them up. You don't want to destroy your consoles. They're worth quite a bit.
Good job, mate.
Thanks, mate. The next issue is the on and off issue. So if you want to replay your old school games and the game's not working or it stuffs up, usually what we do is this. On off, right? Like it's like that's what the restart button's for. What happens is that it actually tells you at the back, do not turn the power switch on and off rapidly, because what it does, it can actually short circuit the wires in here and actually erasing your saved games. So unlike
the wires,
well, like the circuit board.
there you go. That sounds better than wires.
What it actually does, it can short circuit the circuit boards inside here and actually fry up your saved games, and it actually can corrupt your game. So don't do that. That is a no-go to do.
The one thing we're all guilty of when it comes to our cartridges, I've done it, Sal's done it, and probably you've done it too, is when it's not working, it's not playing on the screen, you're like, oh, just blow into the cartridge, and we blow into it and somehow it works again. So I've got some bad news to tell you, that actually it's not blowing onto it that's actually making it work again. It's the fact that we just almost like turning it off and turning it back on, almost like a reset button. So where we take it out, we put it back in, that's the actual thing that actually fixes it, because it all stems from the NES.
No!
Where they had the pins of the actual cartridge lining up properly with the actual console.
Yep.
And so taking it out, taking it back in, had another chance of lining the pins properly. That's what actually fixed it, not you blowing onto it, which we thought was fixing it.
So what does this do to the game?
It actually damages the game. So stop doing it actually, because actually blowing onto it actually gets liquid onto the actual motherboard here, which actually can cause erosion by having water on metal and on things that can obviously
from the saliva
fester. So don't blow in your cartridges.
Yuck.
And our last issue that we're all guilty of is the tangled issue. So this is how most of us usually wrap our cables around our controller, but this actually causes damage to the wire itself, where it has I guess that bend here can cause the cable to bend too much, and over time can ruin the wire within the cable. So
So
there
how do we
is
do it properly?
one way that's probably the least amount of stress on the cable.
Yep.
And so that's getting your hand here and wrapping it around here. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Probably the looser the better, because then obviously you're not having that issue with the cable. And kind of cabling it like this, and yet like that. Have it, and then so there's no stress on the wire going into your
Very good.
controller.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of, what I also, actually looks better too, so if you're displaying it, you're not having to see the cable, and you're not putting the stress on the wire.
Very good, Mr. Pavs.
Thank you.
I
thank
didn't know
you.
that. So now that we've got all our cables done wrong, you can fix them.
Yep. So let's summarize. Don't blow on your cartridge. Replace your batteries. Remove the batteries.
Don't flick on and off the switch thing.
And that's how you wrap your cables for your controllers.
Well, I hope that's helped you guys. And check out our other episodes where we tell you other things.
See you later.
Peace.